Well, welcome to the Gateway Mission Podcast. If this is your first time listening, man, we're glad you're here. If you're returning, we're honored that you're willing to do that. My name is Steve Rusticus. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Gateway Mission. And this podcast really has just two simple goals. We want it to be informational. We want you to know what we do, how we do it, and more importantly, why we do what we do. And then secondly, we want it to be inspirational. We want to tell some stories about how God is working in the lives of men, women, and children in and through the Gateway Mission. We're in the midst of this series called Hope for the Homeless, in which we're kind of digging into some of the issues around homelessness and sort of clarifying some things and talking about why we do what we do. And in this episode, we're talking about help for the homeless, and I'm really honored to be joined by Jenna. Jenna is one of our frontline employees, somebody who is really right in the residence. And so thanks for being here, Jenna.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jenna is the guest advocate at our Gateway Women and Children Center. Can you just give our listeners a sense of what is a guest advocate?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when I say my title, guest advocate, it kind of raises some questions because that's not a typical title for a job. So my position used to be case manager, but we changed it to guest advocate because I'm not managing a case. I'm advocating for our guests. We have guests that stay at our shelter, and I'm advocating for them with outside agencies and just in their life in general to help them move forward and to move out and not need us again.
So this is probably a little bit of a loaded question, but because there's probably no real ordinary day or normal day, lots of things. But in your day, what kinds of things do you help our guests with? What do you walk with them with? How do you equip them?
Yeah, so I meet with them weekly and just talk to them about the goals that they have to move forward and the goals that I have with them to help them move forward. So that could be finding a job, paying off debt, working with Disability Network, Michigan Rehabilitative Service, just other outside agencies to equip them and prepare them for the real world so that they can be successful when they move out and not have to come back and need us again. So whatever that looks like for each person, it's very unique to their situation because, again, every person is unique and different, and the help that they need is different. So each week I meet with them and go over what they've worked on and give them new goals and help them move out and not need us again.
Yeah. We talk a lot about compassion and grace and mercy, but we also talk about accountability. What does that look like? And how do you do that with women who come in and their journeys have, as you said, been very different? Maybe accountability isn't something that they're used to. What does that look like when you want them to try to get a job or step into this or that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have guidelines that they're required to follow while they're in our Pathway and our Pathway Bridge program. And a big part of that is our savings oversight. So I kind of look over their bank statements and their pay stubs and their spending for each week and making sure that they're saving money. And we help them save money by them turning in a certain part of their income each month so that when they move out, they have enough money for rent and deposit and food to be able to feed themselves and their kids and things like that. And then also accountability and like curfew, they have to come back by curfew. And then we do drug testing and breathalyzing just to make sure that they're following their program and doing the things that are required of them and just really following the goals that I've given them.
Yeah. And they're shared goals, right? I mean, they're things you guys have talked about and you said, okay, this is what we have to do to help you move forward.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I like to do with them is their first week, I give them the goal of writing down goals they want to accomplish while they're here. So not just telling them what to do, but giving them the empowerment of saying, these are the things I want to work on. I want to eat healthier. I want to find an apartment. I want to spend more time with my kids so that I can help them accomplish the goals they have for themselves.
Yeah, very, very cool. You were telling us a story a little bit earlier about somebody who's a part of the Pathway Bridge program. Would you share that with the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a guest right now who's been with us since November, and she just came to us very dependent on her family, kind of immobilized because of some situations that happened in her past, and she just didn't feel capable of doing it herself. so incapable that when we had our great Thanksgiving banquet, she chose not to go because she was scared of taking the bus to get there. And she's come to the point now over the last 6 or 7 months that she has accepted Christ in her life. And she started going to a church every Sunday. And she has been doing service projects for us. So part of the Bridge program that I know Scott has talked about is service projects. So because she's on disability, she can't work. And we want her to feel empowered and capable and have hope. And so part of that is doing service projects, cleaning around our building, organizing, things like that. And she has found such power and capability in that she's come to me and said, hey, these things look like they need to be done and to be cleaned. Can you add that to my service project for next week? So, and she's moving out in the next week or two into senior living.
Very, very cool. So, we've talked about the what and the how of what we do. Let's talk about the why. Why do you could work at a lot of places, right?
Yes,
So why do you do what you do here?
Yeah, I've been told I could work at a lot of places too. So I have chosen to do what I do. I feel like God has called me here. I went to college my freshman year. And after that, I just wrestled all summer with what should I go back to college or what's God calling me to? I feel like he's calling me to do more than just go to school. And that summer, I told my parents that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go back to college or just kind of that feeling I was wrestling with. And at that point, there was a job that was opening up at the mission. And I was like, I'll just apply and see what happens. If it doesn't work out, I'll just go back to college. And sure enough, I got the job and I was like, okay, well, that's probably God saying, hey, I want you to do this. And since then, I've now become guest advocate in the last year and just love what I do. And I love helping the people, just knowing that they are peers to me and not less than. I'm not trying to help them or fix them, and they're not a project to me. They are my peers. They're friends. They're people that I want to help and move forward to move out and not need us again.
Well, we're really grateful that you do that. Yeah. So thanks for doing that, Jenna. Hey, thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll listen again to us. If you want more info about anything that we've talked about, you can go to hopefoundhere.org. And if specifically you want any resources from the podcast, it's just /. We hope you'll listen again. And until next time, thanks for doing that.